What should we be looking for, Andrea, from both players here?
I think mostly physical. I think that's something in practice. Players are more relaxed and they will let loose, but how are they moving? How explosive are they? Particularly Elina Svitolina, who hasn't played so long. That's the first thing that goes. Is the quickness of the muscle, and it looks like she has it already here. Nice ace.
That's your.
Sharp.
Well, Zheng has come to play here. Great start. Takes it nice and early on the rise here. Such a heavy ground stroke, that forehand side of Qinwen.
Excellent crowd in too. This opening week's in its second edition. Qualifying events continuing around the precinct, but full operation of all the attractions. Melbourne Park.
Advantage Zheng.
So gets the opening break of serve. Zheng leads 1-love. So I've got these dates right. You mentioned it before. So Aryna Svitolina married Galmonfils in 2021. Daughter Sky born in 2022. Returned in April of 23 and went straight to the quarterfinal of the French Open and then the semi-final of Wimbledon.
That's insane. To me, that's insane. It's really, but I will say, so I played most of my career around the same time that Elina Svitolina was at her best. And she was such a fierce competitor. You knew no matter how well or not well she played, that she would fight for every single point and she would run everything down and make it really hard. She would make it a battle out there. And I think these characteristics really helped her, because that is what it is when your body is changing, going through so many transformations. It is a battle to be back on court, and she recovered so quickly and then played so well. Only 4 or 5 months in, that was, to me, unheard of.
15-love.
And Qinwen, of course, last year, 2024, she was the ace queen. She was the player on tour that led the ace count. Took that spot from Elena Rybakina.
And even just aside from the ace, the most points won in terms of percentage on first serve too, in the mid-70s. So a real weapon for her.
Dirty love. Love.
A good example of the pinpoint accuracy that she has on serve. It's not the fastest, it's not the heaviest, but it's very accurate.
Yeah, and you can't read it at all. She always has sort of the same ball toss, and she's able to throw it as a kick, but still serve the slice, so you have to keep guessing.
And just as we pump up her serve, she serves a double fault.
Yeah, one thing in 2025 that's still going very strong is the announcer's curse.
Yeah.
The moment you mention one of the player's strengths, it just all goes downhill from there.
So poor old John Millman, who's relatively new to the commentary box, having just retired last year, does a great job. He was devastated yesterday, Alexei Popper, and he was talking about some strength of his game, and he was really disappointed that he cursed poor Alexei. Just get used to that, John. That's what happens. You point out a strength and it very quickly becomes a weakness.
That is exactly what happens. Well, we saw one strength, speaking of strength, one strength of Elina Svitolina, who's one of the great counter punchers of the game, can turn any defensive position into offense, does that so well.
So Zheng holds serve, consolidates that opening service break. Andrea, you know what it's like to come back from injury, and with your knee issues, if I can remind you of them, I know you don't like it, but it's such a storyline for players that have, you know, issues, and it is step by step, isn't it? You know, we've seen the pictures of her in the moon boot. She's walking with the crutches, and that's a step. And our own Storm Hunter's going through it at the moment, having injured her Achilles after having such an unbelievable start to the year last year. But you're encouraged by seeing the small steps that you make, and rebuilding the confidence is really important.
Yeah, and I always give the tip, because I had injuries very early on. When somebody asked me what can I do, I always advise them not to watch tennis that much, because that mental frustration as well of seeing others improve and progress and work on their game while you're in your boots sitting at home watching tennis, watching TV, eating chips probably. That's what I did. Not that these professionals would do that ever. And then once you start to grow into your body again, start to become stronger, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's the time to pick up the tennis watching again.
Out. 30-15.
And as you get older, the stress of the ticking clock becomes a bit of a factor as well. You know, Alina's only 30, so sometimes that it'll extend her career with the time off for motherhood and then surgery, but it's never a given. Sometimes the sparkler, as I like to call it, just extinguishes. It burns and burns and burns, and then you've got nothing left to give.
Nice athleticism from both players here. Good movement around the court by Elina. That's so important for her game, but also after that foot surgery. And you're so right, David. It's when you're young and you get injured, it's just an obstacle in your way towards the top, and then later you don't know whether it might be the end. So it just gives more, adds more stress.
Out. $40,000. Use.
And interestingly, I don't know if you remember Naomi Osaka last year also came back here at the Australian Open from maternity leave. One of the most difficult shots when you haven't played in a long time is the first shot after the serve. Because that's when you have to be really quick, reactive, your eyes, neurology, all these things have to work together. And that's oftentimes something that comes with playing matches, playing over and over and over again, and very hard to replicate in practice.
You know, our stats gurus love the serve +1, and it's not generally a statistic. We don't see it on our main data screen. It's something that such an important shot, particularly I would imagine for Zheng Qinwen with that good serve and high percentage. Her +1 must be very high. Zheng Qinwen on her merry way here. Another break of serve has opened up a 3-love lead.
Finally, it's 3 games to love.
Well, the drop shot is generally something that's fraught with danger on this hard court in the warm conditions, but it's been used to good effect a number of occasions already here.
And I love this one. It was more like a short slice, like a change-up of rhythm. She didn't actually look for a winner straight up, and here she has some more rackets delivered. You mentioned it, it's very hot today. Maybe a few more with a firmer string, higher tension.
Beautiful conditions on Rod Laver Arena for the Arena Showdown. Day 2. We're here for the Australian Tennis Foundation, helping to inspire brighter futures. Scan that QR code or head to ozopen.com/ATF if you'd like to contribute, no matter how small, supporting disadvantaged children and communities through a number of programs. Give them the chance to play tennis wherever they might be around Australia. The sun's starting to creep across as well, as we saw yesterday in the Alexei Popper and Jannik Sinner match, and that's a good chance to experience what that's like if you're out here at around 5:30 local time. Last match of the day generally, ahead of the night session. Qinwen serving now, double break.
Oh. Out. 5-15.
One of the incredible things from Zheng Qinwen's year last year is that of all the highest paid female athletes on the planet, Coco Gauff topped the list. Iga number 3, Zheng number 4. just a small 17 million plus. Estimated, of course. We know the prize money, but the endorsements when you're a top-ranked female in a global sport in China, then that gets the cash register rolling. But it also comes with a lot of pressure. We've seen her on the front cover of Vogue, and a lot of attention comes with that. And Coco Gauff, we saw her in Perth, and she's like a normal 20-year-old. She's so chill.
Yeah, she is. I think that's both of them. I think their temperament really helps them in this sport. Both of them so successful at such a young age, and just seem to be taking it fairly head on, no fuss about it. Just continue doing their thing. And this is a really tough ask for Elina Svitolina. I think I like it for her in the preparation to the Australian Open. Play a top 5 player who's clearly playing really well, moving well. It just gives you a sense of where you stand and what still needs some improvement. We mentioned it before, just coming off a foot surgery. Elina Svitolina here hasn't played since the US Open.
Game John.
So another hole to serve, and it's for love.
That leads 4 games to 1.
You're right, the draw, of course, will be made ahead of play on Sunday, and for unseeded players, you look at that with a lot of interest. And number 29 in the world. How many seeds have we got? 30?
32.
Yeah. So you get a little bit of protection, not much at the bottom end.
Yeah, 3rd round latest. You will meet a top seed if you're around the 30th.
Love 15.
As we're seeing it with the Brisbane International being played Adelaide at the moment as well, and United Cup, the depth in the top 50 is strong, and even outside that.
15 all.
Saw the Australian Kimberly Birrell have a good run in Brisbane, and she's just won a 3-set qualifying match against the fellow Australian Priscilla Hon. And the depth in some of those, particularly from the Australians that are hardened for the battle in early January. A lot of dangerous opponents in the first few rounds, even for the top seeds.
Nice shot right there. Got behind the ball, able to accelerate and turn defense into offense. Elina Svitolina hasn't been able to do it that much today, but less because of her and more because of the opponent who's playing really well, Qinwen.
40-15.
So Svitolina on the board. Zheng leading 4-1.
4 games to 1.
So you're in Paris, Andrea, and the win of Zheng, the final against Vekic, it was a bit of a surprise final to have the two of them in it, and Olympic tennis has that sort of feel that the players all go along and enjoy the Olympic experience. It's completely different to what they're used to throughout the Grand Slams and the regular season, and then the pressure and the intensity rises as you get closer to the medals. But what an occasion at Roland Garros. I was there in Paris. I was filthy I didn't get to go.
Great atmosphere it was. Did a great job, France.
Qinwen, have you ever had a practice with an atmosphere like this? I feel like you just had a bite of your banana. So when you're ready, maybe you can answer for the crowd.
Well, actually, it's my first exhibition and feels a bit different than the normal match, but I enjoy it.
I mean, it's clearly started well. Yeah, the crowd are loving it. It's clearly started well. But are you thinking of it as more of a match situation, or in your head, is it really like this is a practice before the real thing starts on Sunday?
Well, actually, I entered the court, think about it, it's like a match. And yes, because this is my first hit in Australia Open. I didn't have any tournament before, so I will say, yeah, this is my first kind of match.
We're loving it. We'll let you keep going. Thank you. Cain.
That's a good description, isn't it? It's my first kind of match. I think that sums it up. If you're winning, it's a match. If you're 1-4 down in the opening set, it's a practice.
Yeah. Yeah, but smart to use the atmosphere because she hasn't played that lead-up tournament, and to use the atmosphere and the chair umpire and the ball kits, all the things that make a tennis match, and use it as a preparation for the real thing.
Well, it's everything, isn't it? It's the warm-up, it's the call time out the underneath, it's being ready to walk on, all of those things that will happen from Sunday. Just getting back into the routine of all of that for both players when you've... Svitolina hasn't done it since the US Open. Have you walked down the Champions Tunnel this year?
I have already.
It's because there's more and more lights there. It's hotter and hotter. It's about 50 degrees. You need to... You work up a sweat, no need to warm up. Just walking down the tunnel is, it's warm.
Love 40.
Elina's finding opportunity here. 3 break points. Another really good example of that serve at just 150 kilometres an hour, but stretching down the middle with the placement.
Beautiful trophy position there. Gets up really nicely, keeps the head up.
Trophy position, I like that. So you think logo worthy.
Yeah. Because she has that glitch, right, when she tosses the ball up, and so people didn't think that she could serve that well in the beginning, but it really matters up from right here. And this she has perfectly down. Now let's see if I have jinxed her. Hopefully not. And this, Dave, really is one of her strengths. She wants every point, even in practice. And I've practiced a few times with her. There is no letting down. Love 40. I'll let this game go. It's just rehearsals, basically, in TV terms. No, she wants every point. She's so competitive about every single point, every shot. And it makes it really hard playing her because you constantly feel the pressure from the other side.
Advantage, Svitolina. Use. Advantage on.
Ace number 4. Has defended 4 break points here to now have a game point.
Let. Reserve.
Yeah, it's a good escape.
Game, John.
Saving 4 break points coming from love 40 down. Holds and leads 5-1.
Zheng leads 5 games to 1.
And here we have that forehand with the quite extreme grip, but has very good acceleration with the wrist and makes it so heavy. Really jumps on you, jumps at you, actually. And don't forget to donate, because this is also for a good cause here, not only for us to blabber along to some tennis.
That's what I do. You're a little more insight than just blabber.
15.
I love blabber.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity knowing that we're raising funds for disadvantaged kids to play tennis. Australian Tennis Foundation.
And Elina is withstanding the power a bit better here in the last 10 minutes or so. Zheng's ground strokes very heavy, and what that means is they are not only fast paced but also rotate in your racket when you connect with them, so it makes it hard to control.
$30.15. $40.15.
Well, Zheng forecast the fact that it was going to the corner and was moving forward. Got there in plenty of time.
40-30. Game, Svitolina.
So
New balls,
Svitolina
please.
holds serve.
Zheng leads 5 games
5-2 serving for this opening set when we return. Excellent crowd on Rod Laver Arena. As we heard when Qinwen came into the stadium, big Chinese contingent, but also a match coming up with Alex de Minaur and Carlos Alcaraz. So great program on for day 2 of our arena showdowns. Science of hydration and energy replacement now progressed, and the number of water bottles and potions and lotions that players come out onto the court with, Andrea, is increasing as well.
Yes.
You've got the water, there's 3 water bottles there for Zheng. One's probably just plain water, and a couple of others would have some solution in there, you would imagine.
Yeah, the electrolytes. Oh, there you have it. The bananas, of course. A lot of players have sport gels, as our beloved colleague Laura Robson found out yesterday, who sat in a sports gel.
Did she?
When she was courtside,
Oh.
yes, so I've heard.
It's not good for the frock.
No, and she always has great frocks on, I'll tell you that.
It is amazing, though. Scientists develop gels, and their price increases, but the banana, just natural, so has everything you need.
Yeah, I used to always eat dates, and I copy and pasted that from Novak Djokovic, who always had dates with him on court.
Don't they get sticky?
Yeah, they do, unfortunately.
Helps your grip.
15-all.
Marat Safin, I heard, had another kind of dates on court with him.
Well, more than one. That's good from you. Well done. Petco
Sorry, I
won.
just had to do it.
No, that was very good. Well, this year there's the coach's box on court, and then there's the player box, in its regular position in the stand. So there's more seats available. So here's the coaching box, which is on court level in the corner. But I still think we've got the player box up in the stand as well. So more seats available for dates or coaches or family, whoever it is you want to bring along.
Whoever you want to bring along. Of course, the coaching rules have changed. Now coaching is allowed, so you want to hear, you want to be able to hear your coaches, actually.
See that sun starting to. It's okay from this service position. At the court, half and half. And so there's that on-court coaching. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the tournament, with players, walking directly over there. It's a long journey from the sit-down side into that corner. Such a big court.
I took a lot of risk on that second serve, which is generally a bad sign for the opponent. When she's risking that much on a second serve, means she's feeling very comfortable with her game.
Saved 4 break points in the previous service game, Zheng. Now that serve again, I feel like I'll just continue to repeat myself. 173 kilometres, so it's not enormous in terms of its speed, but where she puts it just makes it so difficult. So that brings up the set point. So Zheng takes that opening set and a couple of service breaks. 6-2, 37 minutes. So not much fuss for Zheng Qinwen, the Australian Open runner-up. Broke in the first and third games, defended well to hold her own serve, particularly in that 6th game where there were 4 break points. First serve percentage from both players is not on that screen. That was a different match.
I was like, who
Correct.
Are
I was thinking,
people?
hang on, what's going on here? I can tell you that
we don't know the
Zheng's
stats of this, but we can tell you the stats of this random match.
67% first serve percentage, unforced errors 14 for Zheng, 15 for Svitolina. 5 aces for Zheng. So just making the most of those opportunities early when Svitolina was just finding her feet. The difference in that opening set.
Well, Elina Svitolina alongside me. Elina, Qinwen saying to Laura earlier that she's in match mode. I think we got that sense. How is it out here for you at the moment?
Yeah, for me too, you know, it's a first match of the season, kind of. You know, I try to really be, like, take it as a match, and it's an amazing opportunity to play here in front of you guys and make it as a match play.
It's great to see you back. Your first match in these sort of conditions since the US Open. Physically, how are you feeling? How's the foot?
Yeah, so far I feel great. You know, it took me a little bit of time to get used to my new foot. You know, and yeah, just trying to put a lot of work into it and just enjoy on the court.
Elina, good luck in the second set.
Thank you.
Time.
So second set about to get underway. Svitolina will serve.
Svitolina to serve.
Shadow almost covering the court. That'll help probably another 10 or 15 minutes away. Andre, we discussed this yesterday with John, and I've written a letter to management about the design of the stadium, that the roof should have moved east-west and closed in the middle rather than north-south, and we would have been able to edge it across and keep it either in the sunlight or in the shade, depending on the position of the sun, which is the RAC Arena in Perth. Brilliant. You just was able to edge the roof across as the sun went from east to west. The roof here is north-south, so we can't do that.
And what did management reply?
I haven't got a reply yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm probably not expecting one. It wasn't a complaint, it was more just a suggestion, but it was a little bit late now that the stadium's been built in this magnificent arena, which constantly gets
15:30.
little tweaks and upgrades.
$15.40.
Well, Zheng, a replica of the opening game of the first set, breaking Svitolina.
Yeah, and those are also things that just come with playing matches, doing the competition, the real competition. And look who's here with a new haircut, and I assume just talking to Frances Tiafoe. Is that Frances Tiafoe?
It's a very sharp haircut, and
yeah, it's Frances.
It was even sharper yesterday when in one of our many WhatsApp chats there was a discussion about how quickly his hair grows, and yesterday it was shaved completely, and now it looks like it needs a fresh clip already.
Dave, I have never seen anybody's hair grow this quickly.
Okay, well,
I feel like he has haircuts 5 times a week, and by the end of the week it's already grown. It's incredible.
Okay, can you send him up here after he plays this match against Alex Demon, or to give me some hints on how to grow hair?
Oh man, I think a lot of us would kill for his
It was
hair
like
growth.
it was seriously sharp, and you know, you could see his scalp yesterday, but we'll see it fully when he comes out. But it looks like it's flourishing already. He must have good shampoo.
His hair grows as fast as his career, and that's scary for the opponents.
Dirty love.
You can just see those wide, heavy shots from Qinwen really bothering Svitolina, who's still finding her footing out here, coming back from foot surgery.
I think everyone thinking that was on the line. Must have missed by millimetres.
Love.
uncharacteristic.
40-15.
And I think she's complaining a bit about the side, tough to see for her there. And on return, it's the hardest. Once you get in the rally, you do okay. Oh.
40-30. Game jump.
So Zheng holds serve, as she did in the opening set. 2-love.
Zheng leads 2 games to love.
So a couple of new rackets come out early in the first set. Most of them tucked away in the bag. A reminder that the Arena Showdown matches raising funds for the Australian Tennis Foundation. Head to ausopen.com/ATF. Find out more about the program, how you can make a contribution.
Got it. Yes. That was one of the things she wanted to improve in the off-season. The net play is such a powerful game. If she could close out a few more shots, a few more rallies at the net, would really elevate her game even more. And to me, it's very obvious that Svitolina hasn't played in a while. The 2 things that bother her the most are the first shot after the serve. We see a lot of unforced errors off there. And when she has to run into the wide forehand, she had surgery on the right foot, where you have to sort of catch your entire weight and power.
Game jump.
It's another break of serve. Zheng now leading 3-love, upper set. You can see that movement when she's got to rush from one side of the court to the other. The court's been wide open on a couple of occasions, but she just hasn't been there in the right position to make the most of the shot.
And I feel like you can really tell when somebody trusts their movement, when they go into this full sprint into the corner, and then when they hit the ball, they catch themselves with their right leg and just push off into the other side. And you can see Elina every now and then just doing a few extra steps as if she doesn't trust that foot yet. And that's very normal, and that will all come, but it is a process, unfortunately. And she just needs to be patient with herself, which is so hard to do, because you want to do well right away when you're back on court.
Warming up, we saw Carlos Alcaraz earlier. Now Hans Diemen are getting ready. Facilities for the players here in the gyms and warm-up areas around Melbourne Park, superb. So he'll be looking forward to taking to Rod Laver Arena. We'll be up just under an hour's time. Local time here, 7 p.m. kickoff. Just past 6 p.m. A bit of pump up the jam too. Just to get us all up and about.
Somebody has to pump up the jam.
Well, at the moment, Qinwen's doing an excellent job of that. Replica of the opening set, 2 service breaks.
Love 15.
That was good movement from Zheng to stay in the point. Svitolina
Love 30.
worried her here by just moving forward a fraction. Had to actually got closer to the net than I recalled on first inspection, all the way in.
Love 40.
So Svitolina gets a
Cain,
break.
Svitolina.
Gets on the scoreboard in this second set.
And leads 3 games to 1.
Nice play there. Really dominated the center of the court with her forehand. That was one of the things she improved so much after her maternity leave. Got so much more aggressive in that, if you want to say, second part of her career. Served better.
15 love.
Used the forehand up the line better. I made quarters of the French and semis at Wimbledon right away.
Dirty love.
And had a pretty solid year last year too. She was through to the round of 16 here at the Australian Open, but had a back injury and was forced to retire. Round of 16, the French quarterfinal at Wimbledon. That third round against Coco Gauff at the US Open. Strong results. Zheng was impressive too after winning the Olympics and all of the attention that occurs for a Chinese player. Quarterfinal at the US Open, and then of course had a great run at the end of season WTA finals, making it all the way to the final match against Coco Gauff.
I believe she held match points there. Definitely served for the match in the third set at 5-3. Oh, made that one.
30-0.
Australians love nothing more but people catching a tennis ball, right? Or just catching a ball in general.
It's a cricket thing, so
yeah.
It's very much from the cricket. This one dropped by 6 people. There's one, probably 2 or 3 hands before it landed in someone's lap.
So that doesn't get the
That's not a
quite
catch.
the respect.
No.
Okay, good.
No, Australian sports fans are pretty harsh on that, so that gets no respect.
Oh, okay.
not even-
oh,
not
you
as
don't
much.
even get a little bit
Well,
respect.
the final
And leads
catch,
4
a
games
little.
to 1.
4-1. Match is broken out while we're talking about crowd catches. In fact, we were discussing this yesterday at the US Open. If it goes out of the stadium, you get to keep the ball. If it goes into the crowd, there was a suggestion that the crowd gets to keep it, but that can't be the case because there's only so many balls in play. So
Yeah.
in baseball, if the ball goes into the crowd, you know, they go through 100 balls in the 9 innings. But I don't think they keep the ball, do they? That goes into the crowd at the
That's
US
a
Open.
good question. I think they had this. I remember they had a year where they were trying this. I don't know if they kept it though.
How do you decide? How do you keep the similar sort of balls?
Yeah, that's the problem.
New balls are fresher, a lot of pop as the 7 games wear on. Anyway, well, I'll send an email about that and see if I get an answer as well. Hope you're enjoying the Arena Showdown as we count down opening week here at the Australian Open of 2025. Tournament proper gets underway on Sunday. A couple of matches on Rod Laver Arena tonight. The first of them, the runner-up from 2024, Zheng Qinwen, in command here. Up a set and a break against Elina Svitolina. Traded breaks have served the last 3 games here.
Fifteen love.
Oh yes, nicely done. Little serve and volley action
love.
with a pickup.
60% for the match when she's come into the net. 50% this set. That was well judged. Was it off the centre? Looked like it. She's had the presence of mind to pause.
She just has that natural change of rhythm without trying, because her forehand is so much loopier. You see it here, so much height and clearance above the net, pushes the opponent back, and then she can step in, take it on the rise and flatten out the backhand. So without even trying, has a natural change of rhythm in her game and makes it so hard to control her ground strokes on the other side. Well done. Great angle to open the court by Svitolina. That's what you have to do against an athlete like Zheng Qinwen, who covers so much court. You just have to use the entirety of the geometry of the court.
40-30. Game jump.
Zheng holds and now out to a 5-1 lead in his second set. Looks like it'll be the decider.
5 games to 1.
There's been a sharpness about the play of the reigning runner-up, defending champion, I was going to say. She's not the defending champion here. Olympic champion, runner-up.
Maybe soon. Clearly
Maybe.
feels very comfortable here at the Australian Open.
Long way to go for that, of course. And she'd be feeling pretty comfortable with how her preparation is proceeding.
Fifteen all.
Out.
30-15. T15.
Ball.
40-30.
Ball.
Svitolina holds serve. Zheng will serve for the match here and the bragging rights at the Arena Showdown, leading 5-2.
Leads 5 games to 2.
Little steam goes out of the encounter at the back end of the second set when you're playing an exhibition like this.
Yeah.
I kind of feel I've been out here for just over an hour. I've had a good hit out. Ready to get back into the locker room.
Oh, and look at these two. Both had a haircut.
Carlos Alcaraz, Alex de Minaur will be up next.
What's on Juan Carlos's right knee? Should we be worried? I thought we were only worried about tennis players. Now we have to be worried about the coaches as well.
Well, that's what happens when you get older.
Yeah. This is the biggest fortnight for physiotherapy, I will say.
Up next, Carlos Alcaraz, Alex de Minaur here on Rod Laver Arena. last year's women's runner-up. Qinwen. Sharp performance here. Race through the first set. 6-2, and seems to be a slight delay, and that's what you do when your computer doesn't work. So when you can't unplug it, you bash it.
That's the general.
Technical.
Yes, that's what it says when you read IT services. It says bang your computer.
Correct.
Until it defreezes again.
Yes. So when it doesn't, you keep hitting it harder. And that's not working. We've got scores. We just have to go manually. Does the chair have a notepad? Just write it down by hand, like I do. Keep a little score. And when in doubt, you just keep bashing it.
She's still doing it.
5-2, serving for the match here.
Hey, at least we have a chair umpire.
True. Well, we did have one in the end yesterday. It just took 15 minutes.
Love.
Yeah, I really like to see that she's moving forward more often. I think that could be the next step in her game.
30 love.
To really crack the top 3, has cracked the top 5 in 2024. Of course, on her way into the top 3, possibly, depending on how the other women play. So many good players on the WTA right now.
Love.
That's a very sharp performance from last year's runner-up, Zheng Qinwen. 6-2, 6-2. Now in 10 minutes. And she'll be pleased with the hit out here in front of adoring fans on Rod Laver Arena.
Very solid performance here. We see her with the 2 rackets and adored by not only Chinese fans, all fans around the world.